get it. Okay, let's get into our conversation today, which is trachoma. And I have some important facts that I want to share with viewers. It says that trachoma is a public health problem in 44 countries. Trachoma experts claim that almost 40 million people worldwide have active trachoma. It causes vision loss and blindness than any other infection in the world. And this blindness from trachoma is irreversible. And Africa remains the most affected continent. How common is trachoma here in Ghana?
But currently, there's no. I don't know of any case of
trachoma
in Ghana because because as of 2018, Ghana eliminated trachoma, so we said we are trachoma free for now.
Okay.
But I'm sure when you go to some
in Africa is the most affected continent.
Yes. So Ghana, I think in the 90s and the early 2000s, yes, there used to be an endemic of trachoma in the Upper West region and the Northern region. But with time, due to donors from other countries and other international organizations, they've been able to eliminate it.
Is it in the upper part of the country? Is it because of the dry season?
Yes. So actually, trachoma thrives in dry environment. So environments that are not, they don't have enough water. Or maybe clean water. Back then, they weren't a lot of clean water over there. So if you don't have clean water and your surroundings are not clean, if you don't have clean water, you don't even have enough water to drink. Not even talk about washing your face and all that. So it was contributing.
So one way you can stay from trachoma is when you have access to clean water that
you
can take in.
Yes.
And also
and clean environment as well.
Okay. We'll come to the protective factors, but I want to find out from you, when we say the trachoma infection or disease or anything, what exactly are we talking about?
So I would like to start by saying trachoma is the leading cause of infectious blindness. That is preventable. So you can actually prevent trachoma, but the thing is that a lot of people don't know much about it, so they end up getting an infection and then it thrives for years, and then you end up getting blind, even though it's preventable, but it's still happening, and that's the leading one in the world at the moment. So trachoma is caused by a bacteria called Chlamydia trachomatis. So it's a bacterial infection that affects the eye. So it affects the cornea and then the conjunctiva. So we can say it's keratoconjunctivitis. So that's it can get the cornea inflamed. It can also get the conjunctiva inflamed as well. So when it starts first from the upper eyelid, underneath it.
The upper eyelid?
Yes. Mostly it affects the upper eyelid, even though it can affect the lower eyelid as well. But usually it's the upper eyelid. Because when you're shutting your eye, mostly the upper eyelid does most of the shutting than the lower one. So the first stage is the inflammation stage. This time around, there are follicles that are formed underneath the lower eyelid. So the lower eyelid, underneath it is the palpebral conjunctiva. The palpebral conjunctiva is supposed to be smooth and red. Once you have a trachoma and the infection starts, that part becomes very inflamed, and there are follicles that will be formed there. So when you check the upper eyelid under magnification, you find white ridges on it. So small follicles.
On the upper eyelid.
Yes. So as the condition is getting worse, it gets to the intense inflammation stage. These small ridges will become more bumpier, and they become bigger. And then the eye will become more red. So that's the inflammation, intense inflammation. Then it begins to form scars. As they are beginning to heal, there'll be more scars. Like it looks like cobblestones. I don't know if you know what cobblestones are. So they become bumpy and they cause scars. So when it begins to be like that, the third stage comes in. Because when you close your eyes, the bumpy stuff will rub on the cornea. The cornea is supposed to be a transparent structure. So once you have the bumpy stuff rubbing on it, it's going to cause one discomfort. Your eyes will begin to itch and all that. So once it's doing that constant rubbing, so the cornea becomes inflamed as well.
So looking at it, then it means that you feel the roughness of the upper eyelid.
Yes, you feel it. So whenever you shut your eyes or you blink, you can feel the rough stuff.
Does it come with pain?
Yes, it comes with pain. in intense cases, you can't actually tolerate light because you can't open your eyes because the discomfort is so much. Like I said, the cornea has a lot of nerves on it.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be transparent. So once there's an inflammation, you can't tolerate light. And before you can see, it's light that will make you see. So you can't even tolerate light to open your eyes to see anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you have the trachoma and then the things are rubbing on the surface of the cornea, it makes it difficult for you to tolerate it. So there's itching, there's discomfort, and there's burning sensation as well.
Okay. Talking about the upper eyelid, does it affect both eyes or just one eye?
Yeah, so mostly it's both eyes. It can affect one eye. Most eye infections will start with one eye. But once you are washing your face, you will do this.
Wow.
You touch this.
Of course, you can't do wash one and then leave the other. You wash
definitely
the
you transfer it. One way to transfer a trachoma from one person to the other or one eye to the other is moving discharge from one eye to the other.
We'll get into that in detail. So it starts from one eye, then it transfers to the other.
So mostly eye infections will start from one eye.
From one.
Yeah. So in trachoma, most of the time it's both eyes.
Okay.
So if it's in one eye, then the other eye will still follow. You detected it early.
Oh, okay.
So because once it starts, you'll go to the other.
Okay. And you were talking about it going from one stage to the other. It starts with inflammation and all of that, and then now the severe trachoma and all of that.
Yeah.
So how come people are not able to identify that this is what's happening, and then they leave it for it to grow from one stage to the other, then it kind of, affects the entire...
And apart from itching from trachoma, on a normal day you can have an itch.
Yeah.
You can have a burning sensation. And besides other conditions, one of them is an allergic response in the eye. Once you are exposed to something that you're allergic to, the eyes are going to itch and there'll be burning sensation. So some people may feel like...
What can you be allergic to that will make your eyes itch?
Dust is one thing.
Okay.
Some people...
Not everybody's allergic to dust.
And not just only dust, even the food we eat. Some people are allergic to nuts. So when they eat nuts, it would trigger that. Some people are allergic to seafood and all that. So anything can trigger it. Even for some people, when they sleep on cotton wool, so maybe your pillow contains cotton wool, you sleep on it, the next day your eyes are swollen and itchy and all that. Maybe you can't even tolerate light. So if you are someone that's been getting frequent episodes of that, if you have trachoma, the beginning stage is the itching and the burning sensation, you may think this is the normal allergies I've been getting. So it starts small by the time you realize.
So does it mean any itch at all we experience, we shouldn't think that it's normal?
When you have an itch, don't do anything about it. See a doctor. The doctor will be able to tell.
And I just do this. I'm not supposed to.
If it's just an instant one, if it's an instant one, it's normal for you to feel a sudden itch. But once it's happening for the whole day, you may feel like, this is it's been happening since morning. Why don't I go and see a doctor? So if it's a normal itch, the doctor will be able to tell. If there's a sign of an infection based on your case history, what you tell them, I did this, and I did that, and this is how I feel, the doctor will be able to tell. And maybe they may even request you to do a lab test. So they take the discharge from your eye and test to see what's actually causing it. If it's trachoma, they'll be able to detect the bacteria.
So aside the itching that you experience for maybe like the whole day, then you need to quickly check what else should I look out for? So
for the trachoma, like I said, most of the other things apart from the itching are signs that the doctor would see.
Not you.
You would not see it. Maybe you feel like there's the itching, for instance, and then maybe the foreign body sensation. Once the ridges begin to form under your eyelid, whenever you blink, they are going to be rubbing against your eye. So you feel like, there's something in my eye. So that's when you go to see the doctor. So the doctor will now be the one to evert your upper eyelid to see, there are follicles here, there are scars on the upper palpebra. So you see that, this is this and that. And then you may diagnose the person of trachoma. Apart from that, you, the individual, will not be able to tell if this is trachoma. Like I mentioned, allergies also can cause that giant papillae under it So you feel all that, and you may be thinking this is trachoma, but it's not. Maybe they're in the end stages of trachoma where there's the trachiasis. Trachiasis in the sense that your eyelashes are tight, they are anyhow. Instead of them to be arranged well, they are haphazardly arranged and they are touching the eyelid, and maybe there's entropion. The upper eyelid is actually everting in. It's turning in and it's rubbing against the eye. And then maybe that's the scar tissues also, you can see it in the mirror. When you maybe pull down your lower eyelid or invert it and look at it in the mirror, then you may be able to suspect that this is trachoma. But you, the individual, you don't have the expertise to actually know. You may suspect it.
You would only experience the feelings.
Yes. But mostly trachoma occurs in kids. 60% of the cases worldwide are in kids between age 3 and 6. So a kid will not be able to tell if this is trachoma. So that's how come it starts small and then it builds with time, because the kid will just be rubbing the eyes. They are not seeing enough to be able to say, Mom, this and this is happening to me. There's just a few of them that will maybe be able to complain to their mom, and the mom will send them to the hospital. And even in Ghana, most people would like to self-medicate. So maybe one day hear that, my child is doing this, they will go and buy chloramphenicol, which is not what is used to treat trachoma.
So it means that when it starts with the aging, something can be done at that moment to
so
prevent it from going.
Once it's detected early, and then you put the tetracycline ointment. That's what they use to treat it. Or maybe they put you on azithromycin tablets. It's going to prevent it from going to the other stages. Like I said, it's preventable. So the visual impairment that you get from it can be prevented if you start treatment early. That's because of the early detection.
And you mentioned that sometimes when the lash is all over the place. So what am I supposed to do when it's all over the place? What do I do about it?
You can brush. Sometimes, not just trachoma. When your lashes are haphazard, you can feel them. So you can brush it. Ladies do that sometimes when they put on the lash, they actually use something to the brush from the use it to so you can use it to arrange it yourself.
To prevent it from touching the up down lid or something. So how long can trachoma stay with an individual?
I can say if you don't treat it, it will be with you forever.
So you'll be itching your eyes forever.
So not just itching, it starts from the itching stage, and then the other stages, like I said, the first stage is the itching and then the burning sensation. Then the inflammation comes in. After the inflammation, the follicles and all those things, and then the scarring tissue will also come in. And then maybe once the entropium comes in, that's the turning of the upper eyelid comes in, it begins to touch, the lashes will begin to touch, and then the cornea becomes infected, then it becomes opaque. Apart from the opaqueness, blindness will begin to set in. So that will be your end game. Once the blindness come in, any other thing that happens, still the eye cannot see, so you may not want to document that because the eye is not functional anymore.
Is it genetic related?
No,
not at all.
No, it's an infection. So there's no way that you can inherit it. So maybe someone in your family has it. You sleep together, and you share a pillow, or maybe the person touches the eye and they touch the doorknob. You come and you open the door. Maybe an insect comes close to your face and you do this and you suddenly touch your eye. You are transporting it.
So it spreads from one person to the other.
One person to the other. So it can be direct contact or indirect. So the indirect here means that maybe they touched something and you also touched.
The infected person touched something.
So maybe I clean my eyes, the discharge there. If I have trachoma and I clean and I touch this table.
So there'll be discharge, like maybe polio.
Yes.
There'll be discharge.
Apollo. Yes.
Sorry.
So it's like I said, it's some form of conjunctivitis because it affects the conjunctiva. So the discharge comes out. I clean it and I touch it. Or maybe I use a tissue or a handkerchief and I put it here, and then you pick my handkerchief up, and then maybe something happens. You touch your face immediately.
You'd also be infected.
Yes. Or maybe, like I said, the eyes are connected. The last time I said the eye is connected to the nose. So the nose and the eye are connected. So that's why when you cry, there's tears there's your nose will be coming. What's the name? The phlegm will be coming out from your nose. That's because the tears will pass through the punctum to the nose. So once the person has a trachoma, for instance, and maybe they blow their nose, and then the phlegm they touch, they don't clean. They give you a handshake. Something happens.
Wow.
They touch your face.
Wow. So when the person touches you, and then you also use that same
so
hand
without
on
washing
your
hands, you touch yourself, maybe around your face. When I say your face, it can be your chin. So in your chin, you will not infect yourself. But once you touch around your eyes, and then you touch the eye,
even if it's just one eye,
it's one eye is enough. Like I said, most infections will start from one eye and move to the other. So once I infect this eye, and then maybe I'm Muslim, I'm going to pray. Definitely I'll wash my face, but without soap.
Yes.
So if I'm washing, definitely I'll move from here to the other eye, and I'll infect myself. I also mentioned something that I'm Muslim. We use the ablution cup. So after I wash my face, I'll pick it, go and put it down. The next person comes to pick it.
Wow. Easy
and then
transmission.
wash. Yes. So that'll be an indirect way of transferring it. Direct too can be maybe the person touches the face, maybe the mom has it, and then the person touches the face, and then
it looks like the ratio is between child and mom.
Mostly, like I said, it's predominant among kids. So the kids that age are always with their parents, especially the mom. So once maybe you are with your child and you pick them up, the child can even, do something that is not usual. Maybe they are crying and they are turning their body, and then they end up transferring the discharge from the kid's face to the child's face.
Okay, let's talk about the flies.
Sorry, the mom's face.
Let's talk about the flies transmission as well.
Yeah, so the flies, there's something we call the eye-loving flies. These particular flies, they will move from one eye to the other.
So they only
from my eye.
Their playground is the eyes.
For some reason, they like to stay on people's eyes. So they can come to my eye. Maybe I have trachoma. They sit there for a while. Maybe I decide to chase it away, and the next person is you. They sit on your eye. They are transferring it, just like cholera. The fly will go somewhere, or maybe in a dirty surrounding where the bacteria is. They sit there, do their stuff with their fingers and all that. Come to your face, sit on it, and then transfer it. The next few days, you begin to show symptoms of trachoma.
Wow. So it looks like when you are having flies come in your area, you just have to.
You don't have to allow them.
You don't
even allow it to get close to your face, because you never
then
really
you quickly
know.
have to wash your face with soap, right, and water.
But when the soap enters your eye, also that's another.
It's better than having
trachoma. So I would suggest, if you think maybe you are liable to it, you can go for them to give you treatment, even though you are not showing symptoms. They can also do a culture. So in the case that you suspect that you have it, so they go and then they pick a cotton bud, rub it on the eye, and then culture it in the lab. If there's infection, it would show that this is the trachoma bacteria that then transferred to your eye. So that in that case, even though you haven't started showing symptoms and your eye is already showing that there's the bacteria in your eye, you can start treatment. They put you on the azithromycin or the tetracycline.
Yes. Interesting. Let's talk about the control factors. And then they've trachoma experts have couched an acronym for that, which is a safe acronym. Let's talk about it.
So in trachoma, I mentioned the stages. So based on the stages, that's how you address it. So the safe, like you mentioned, the S there is for surgery. So if
the
you
S
have,
there is for surgery.
So if you have advanced stage trachoma, where the eyelid is turning in and the lashes are all over, touching your cornea, or maybe you are even unlucky, your cornea becomes opaque because there's infection and all that. So meaning you are getting blind. So they can do a surgery to reposition the upper eyelid or the lower eyelid that is turned in, or a transplant. So they remove your cornea and then they put another person's cornea there. So a donor cornea will be put on the eye. So that's the surgery.
But would trachoma be the only infection that demand a cornea transplant?
No, there are other conditions.
Okay.
Let's say you are involved in an accident and then maybe something hit your eye. The cornea, like I said, is transparent.
Transparent, yeah.
So after the sore healed, there's this opaque thing, the white thing that's covering the eye. So that would mean you will not be able to see.
Okay. So do I have to be dead before my cornea can be given out somewhere else?
Yes, if you give your cornea to me, you can't see.
Yeah, I can't see again.
So if you want to donate your cornea, before you die, you tell the hospital I want to donate my eyes and all that. So if they check to see you don't have any condition, that if they transplant your cornea, you infect the person they are giving it to.
Okay.
Then they can take it from you.
So you have to take it before the person dies?
No.
Or even after the person?
If you are
no,
alive,
when the person is about dying, this is like the person is about dying.
But they will still have to wait.
You have to wait till the person. Yeah, and it looks like a lot of people who have not even willingly said they want to donate their cornea.
No, if
you health experts will take the cornea.
No, you can't take it. Really? Because once you take it and then if they're going to bury you, they will definitely see your face.
You'll see that you don't have cornea.
Yes. Because to take the cornea, maybe they may end up cutting other places, so they'll be bleeding. Okay. Once you die, even though you are dead, but there will still be blood stains, clot of blood all over. So if they take your eyes, your family will definitely know. So if you want to donate your eye,
you have to antibiotics and then.
I didn't even finish the safe. Yeah. So there's
the A for the safe. Yes. The A is the antibiotic. That's what I want us to talk about.
So the antibiotics is for the early stages. So let's say you start and then there's the discharge and all that, the itching, and it hasn't gotten to the advanced stages. They like to give the antibiotics, so it can be in the form of topical. So the topical one is the tetracycline eye ointment, which they would evade the lower eyelid and put it there. So in a few days, the condition will be resolved. In other cases, they may want to give a systemic antibiotic in the form of azithromycin. That one also works. And then the fourth letter is the F, which is for facial cleanliness. So once you wash your face often, you wash your hands with soap, and then all that. So whenever maybe you feel like, okay, I've been exposed to something like that, you wash your face and all that. If you are in an environment that is not so good, and you keep washing your face, even though the environment may contain the bacteria, but because you've been washing your face regularly, it will reduce your chances of getting it. The last letter is the E. The E, which also has to do with environmental cleanliness.
Improvement and all of
so
that.
Once you have a clean environment and clean water,
access to
water, it's going to reduce your chances of getting it, because the bacteria will be found in environments that are not clean. So if the environment is clean enough, there's no need for you to do the other stuff, because the thing is not even in the environment in the first place. So there will not be a need to be going for a surgery or the antibiotics.
That's true. So that should even be the first point.
The first thing, so clean environment. If you have a clean environment, it will get rid of the bacteria.
Surgery, the antibiotics and all of that. Interesting. Give us your last words together with your contact details, social media handles, and where we can locate Eye Vision Center. So once you have any eye symptom, whether it's symptoms of trachoma or any other thing, you have to go to the hospital. Don't start self-medication. That's my message to everyone. My contact details, you can actually find my facility on all social media platforms. Eye Vision Center. We are on Facebook. Information about our whereabouts. You can send a message. But my personal contact is 050-988-9811. 050-988-9811. Thank you very much. I just had a conversation with an optometrist. He's Osman Junior Mutada from Eye Vision Center. We just had a conversation about trachoma, a silent killer. and you need to take note of that. Anything you start to experience around your eyes, you need not to sit and think it's normal, or you think you're allergic to this particular thing and then you did it, that's why you're having reactions, especially around your eyes. You need to visit an optometrist as soon as possible. So this is where we wrap up today's segment, and a big thank you to Apomudennti for my outfit today. Apomudennti, you can find them on Instagram, APPARRELVEE, or you can give them a WhatsApp number or call them via the number 0249 222 678 0249 222 So we're going to take a quick 10, and then when we come back, William Debo Pakabini will be on with InFocus. We'll be back.
Dr. Andrew Akutu. I'm the Managing Director of Hstv Funeral Homes. Hstv Funeral Homes was established to provide modern, state-of-the-art and comprehensive funeral services. If a family lost a loved one, everything became a do-it-yourself affair. But Hstv Funeral Homes was established so that everything that has to do with the funeral, from the time a person dies until they are buried, can all be done and made available in one place. And at all time, to emphasize the importance